It is the beginning of a series, and we are using a human rights approach to prevention education. Thank you. Before I call on our chairperson to give some closing remarks and our elders to bless this event, I would like to draw a couple of names here.
What are we doing to help someone who is not having green card but is in this country and is HIV positive? That's the question I want to ask us. What are we doing to help them? Let me tell you one thing. Some people don't want to come out to get tested because of their immigration status. They don't want to do that for the fear of being sent back to Africa or to any other place. So I think the environment is a big factor in this situation. The environment needs to rally around them. You know why people are spreading HIV/AIDS? Because we don't care for them. HIV/AIDS should be looked into like someone who has cancer. If any of your family have cancer, you hug them, you will still accommodate them. You say, I was crying inside my heart when a sister said that because she was tested HIV positive and they asked her to leave the house. That person is adding more trouble or problem to the situation. We have a problem. How do we solve our problem? That's what we should be looking to. And we should not be pointing finger like Dr. Akisete said, that some people will feel that, oh, maybe he has sinned. That's why he's having HIV. It is not true. It is not because someone has sinned. You know, someone asked such question. Who sinned? They asked Jesus that. Who sinned? Is this his mother or the fellow? Jesus said, no. Not because the person has sinned. So we should not look down on those who are HIV positive. In fact, we should help them more than before. So the government, what I would suggest is that if the government find out that someone is HIV positive, is not having house to live, the government should give that person house. And the communities too, we should rally around that person. The government should give that person job so that he or she can feed himself. We should not add more to the problem. We should try as much as possible to rally around them and help them. It is not because they are unfortunate, because they have sinned. We have all sinned and fall short of glory of God. There is nobody in this room who will tell you that is not a sinner, including myself. So we should not look down on those who are unfortunate in this situation. What affects A can affect B. You are living today, you cannot tell me you can never get it, either by accident or by your intention, either intentional or unintentionally. If you are free, what about your children? I was talking to a youth, a guy about 1 hour ago, that the generation.
Often when there is a problem within our community, we look onto the government to solve all our problems. I can tell you that it is impossible to provide housing or to do everything that we expect the government to do, because it isn't only Africans who have HIV. There are many people from all over the world who are living with this illness. There are many people all over the world who are dying with chronic illnesses and cancer. To say that the government should be there to provide for all our needs is wrong. I think we look first and foremost within our communities to first and foremost accommodate these patients. We need to accept them. After all, there are people who come and yet they are able to live with their relations and then get on with life. So again, I add a caution here. I don't think it is right to expect the government to answer all our needs. we need to start off with ourselves first. I am an immigrant, and I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, thank you.
The area I'm having point about is that who can help somebody who's not having green card to get green card? And that if somebody is HIV positive and is not having green card, the person is facing more problem. Because the government will tell you, you are not entitled to so and so right. Because you are illegal alien. Everybody is illegal in this country. I don't care how you came. I don't care whether you came by boat or by ship. Why not stay in your country? My own is that whether we like it or not, it is our problem too that we need to solve. But it is government that gave green card, have citizenship. Individual can't give me that, can they? It's only the government. So my question is, what is the government doing in that area? As far as the housing is concerned, the government still have program for housing, which I know. I know that was true. But how do we help them? The individual can employ. If you have a job, you should give job to somebody, and you should not discriminate because the law of this country does not allow you to discriminate against anybody because of their situation, religion, or their background, or their color. So that's the area I'm talking.
It's true that just the uneducated are getting HIV infected, though. I mean, this isn't just a matter of education. I think there's pretty clear data that in Africa, for example, a lot of the educated people also get HIV. So it's behavior and not necessarily the education level. Even in the United States, many well-educated gay white men in their early years, they were the major part of the epidemic. Many of them were very well educated. So education by itself does not solve the problem. It's behavior, and one of the behaviors that's probably the hardest to deal with is gender inequity in women's rights, where women, should have the right to be able to say no, for example, in sexual relationships, and have more empowerment in sexual relationships. And then on the political front, over 6,000 people are dying every day in Africa from AIDS, twice the number that died in September 11th. And so you don't have to go looking around for weapons of mass destruction. HIV is a weapon of mass destruction. And we spend in 2 weeks what we spend hopefully in the entire year for our generous but woefully still inadequate contribution.
Being challenged with something that seems insurmountable. And when I started doing the work in the Bronx and New York City at that time, I kept on meeting heroes. And Joyce is another hero. And I know there are other people that you know in the audience who are heroes. And I think the courage that it takes, whether you're open with the whole community or even just with yourself, to be able to take care of yourself, and if you can find ways to be courageous with other people around you.
HIV positive and are during pregnancy. A couple points that I want to bring out after looking back over the last 2.5 years, over the clients that I'm seeing right now, the clients that we continue to have. First and foremost, it's so important for...
If you live here today and you don't know how to protect yourself, half of or more than what we have done here today is in vain. If anyone lives here today and doesn't